Hey traders, welcome back to Pokemon Deck Check. Gotta be Poke Dad. And today on Pokemon TCG Unbroken Bonds, Sylveon Gardevoir Tag Team GX deck profile. So let's start it off. 4 Sylveon and Gardevoir. And then 1 Tapu Lele Fairy type with Magical Swap. And that's all the Pokemon we have. Okay. So you want to start with Sylveon and Guardian, the active. You want to use their basically Geomancy, but it's a little bit better because you can put both energy on one Pokemon. So you're going to power up something on the bench. And from there, you're probably going to absorb some damage with the one in the active. And so at that point, you're going to Acerola into the one on the bench. And then you're going to attach energy for turn or use the energy from it. And you're going to start swinging for 150 and then you can move energy around. So what you could do is hit for the 150 and go ahead and move 1 energy to the bench. And that way you can start powering up both. Because you're not taking big one-hit KOs, Tapu Lele with Magical Swap is going to definitely help you out. We have thought about using Mr. Mime because you're not really going to one-hit KO anything unless you use the GX attack to immediately eliminate a threat. So Tapu Lele can just swap all that damage around and then you can take knockouts that way. We've also thought about adding, like I said, the Mr. Mime so that your opponent can't Acerola or Super Scoop up to heal. So something to think about. And if you ever do get the GX attack off, it's pretty much GG. Because your opponent has to shuffle their entire hand into their deck. And yeah, so if you ever get to that point in the game, then you've probably won. So it's very difficult to do though. 4 Nest Ball, 2 Ultra Ball. Those are your forms of search. You could make an argument to not even play Ultra Ball, but it's just kind of safe and plus gives you some thinning options because there are cards in this deck that you won't need for every matchup. So, damage modifier, we have 3 Choice Band because 150 is not that much, so you at least want to hit 180 or 230. Because even with the GX attack, you're not hitting 210. So Choice Band is really important to this deck. Other items: a couple Poke Gear, a couple switches, Energy Recycle System, 1 Rescue Stretcher, 1 Adventurer's Bag. So the Adventurer's Bag is very important to this deck. The reason being is we play a lot of protection items. So we have a couple ability charms. We have a couple lightning charms. We have a fighting charm. And we have a grass charm. And the last tool that we have is a wishful baton. So, depending on the meta of what you're predicting to be most popular, you can definitely swap these around. If you think Ultra Beasts are going to be super popular, then definitely swap out, you could swap out the grass one and make that Ultra Beast, because that way it covers Buzzwole and Blaziken. So that's an option. You could swap out, if lightning's not popular, then maybe 1 more fighting or add the fire one. So there's lots of options. This is no way set in stone. Honestly, this grass one needs to be Ultra Beast protection. So, but that's it for the items. Lots of different items, and you're probably thinking it's a lot, but we play a heavy count of greens search to be able to grab the exact item we need at that moment. So it's not too overwhelming. 4 green search. We're not using any abilities, so this is our go-to card to get exactly what we need. Search your deck for 2 trainer cards, put them into your hand. Then, since we are going the healing sort of disruption, we do run a heavy count of Acerola 4. And then our draw power, 3 Lily, 3 Cynthia, and a couple Erica. You will lower your hand size down, so it's nice to have Erica, sometimes more so than Lily. So, and then of course 3 Guzma. So that's it for the supporters. You want to be playing Green Search or Acerola almost every turn. If you're having to play the other supporters and stuff, then you're probably in the lead, which is a good thing. But if you're even with your opponent or even behind, then you're probably going to be wanting to play Green Search almost every turn. More disruption, we've got a couple Unmanned Power Plant, and we have Wondrous Labyrinth. All 3 cards you can grab with Green Search. So, I mean, grabbing Wondrous Labyrinth and, you know, a Charm for protection, depending on what your opponent is playing. That's super strong and that's powerful. So, Unmanned Power Plant just slows down your opponent. You're playing a slower deck. Unmanned Power Plant kind of levels the playing field. So does Wondrous Labyrinth. It levels the playing field. So it's definitely really good in this deck. So then for energy, we've got 4, 8, 10. 10 plus the recycle system gets them back. So you could have either 11 or you could have 13. So, and you want plenty to be able to search for with Geomancy. So, in case a couple are prized. If a couple are prized and then you do a Geomancy and then you have one for attach for turn from the active, you know, just thinking about it, that only leaves you with 5 in deck. And then possibly in a second Geomancy to the one on the bench, that leaves you just 3 in deck. So I know a lot of lists play like 8 or 9, but I just showed you. I mean, if you play 8, then you only have 1 left in deck, and if you play 9, then you only have 2 left in deck. So, and if your Guardian on the bench gets knocked out, you can't even power up your next Sylveon Gardevoir without energy recycle system or something like that. So that's why we like the little heavier 10 count of energy. Now, we have switched to this type of build. We did have Asmoril, where you do its attack and you reveal the top 8 cards of your deck, and you can attach all the fairy energy to your Pokemon however you want. That version also ran Ninetales and Ditto, and it was less consistent than this. This, I think, is definitely going to be the way to play it. We don't really care for the Ribbon Bee that kind of gives your Guardies or Sylveons protection on the bench. The reason why we're not fans of that is because after we do one Geomancy attack, we're wanting to move that into the active. So, something to think about. Maybe Ribbon Bee's really good, but we haven't had any success with it so far. So that's what we got. So we got a Guardy, Sylveon, Acerola, and yeah, it's as far as its place in the meta, it's one of the best going into Unbroken Bonds. It's near the top for sure. So, definitely check it out. Good stuff. And till next time, be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes.